What is up, guys? How you doing? All right, so today I'm going to be talking about my honest thoughts on Halo Campaign Evolved. Okay, so we get a little exercise this morning while we're doing this, but here's the thing, right? So I've been a very long time Halo player. Played it my whole life since I was a child. Halo CE was my first. In fact, I still remember my first time playing the level Halo, and I picked up a Needler, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever as a kid. It was like a pretty weapon. Shoot these, technically the crystals were like a blue in the OG, but yeah, and they shot pink. But yeah, I thought it was the coolest thing, and even to this day, the Needler is my most favorite weapon. I would say the Energy Sword is still the most iconic, but the Needler is by far my favorite weapon from the franchise. I love it. But anyways, so here's the thing though. We've only seen the mission, the Silent Cartographer, which is arguably the fan favorite from the original game, and probably the most iconic as well. It's definitely in my top 2. I don't think it's my number 1, but it's definitely in my top 2. And objectively, it may be the best. Regardless, that's the example they used for probably the reason of it being the most popular. So, look, the game looks fantastic. I mean, there's no denying the graphics look amazing, and I think Hidden Xperia hit it best. The cinematography on the cutscenes, they're awesome. I mean, that is like a Blur cinematics of Halo 2 levels of awesome. It is just absolutely cool, and you know, I don't actually know if they're cinematics or if they're actually cutscenes. I have no idea, but I don't know that much about it. But it looks amazing. Chief's armor looks way more accurate than the Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition. It's not just a reach reskin. However, there are a few issues with this Campaign Evolved. So one of the things that we wanted to get rid of was just the consistent like reskinning. You know, like the biggest complaint about Anniversary Edition was that we just got like a reach reskin of Combat Evolved, and nobody wanted that. We wanted like stuff that's true to the art style of Halo Combat Evolved, which it looks a lot better and closer in Campaign Evolved, but they're still using a lot of Infinite assets, and I am worried that they're not placeholders, that they're just going to stay. That's going to be frustrating. So that's probably like the first issue. The next issue is that there are certain things that they're just changing for really no reason. Now, we are getting a remake, right? So I'm expecting some changes, but they need to be like not useless changes. Like, why take that tree out where the Warthog can go in, you know? Like, I don't really personally care that much because I like to shove my Warthog wherever. That sounded funny, but you know what I mean. Like, I like to just take the Warthog into all the random places in Combat Evolved. But like, why take the tree out? That's not necessary. Same thing for like the silo, like the opening to the underground. Why did they make that a giant like peak? It used to be like a circular shape. So I don't understand what the point in changing stuff like that is. It's pointless. So that stuff, to me, that makes no sense. But like, as far as the art style and stuff, that's the right direction. You know, the water looks beautiful. Like the rocks and the sand and stuff, all that looks amazing. I'm not too impressed by the Elite. I like the armor and like that art style for the most part, unless I missed something. I heard some people saw some like 343 era stuff, which is gross. But I'm not too impressed. They don't do the little wart and like do the little hop that they usually do. So I'm not too impressed about that. And as far as sprint goes, to be honest, I'm kind of in the class of people who I don't care. Like, if you don't want to use it, there's literally a toggle off button. Yes, it is going to rush people through it if they use it, especially a lot of new gamers, which I don't really like. But it is just kind of inevitable, so I don't know. I'm just more on the side that I don't really care. I probably won't really be using Sprint that much when I play, but who knows. Now, I will say one last thing. So the last thing I'll say is that I really, really enjoy the idea of getting extra content, like extra missions, because for that, like especially if they go back to Reach or something, then you can revisit some of those Reach assets. You know, that makes sense, and that also gives them creative freedom, right? Because they don't have to like make it so accurate to what was there before, because it was never there. So I really like the idea of that. I think that would be great content for us, you know, to get more lore of, you know, the CE era, because that's a lot of people's favorite time in the franchise, and I've always wanted more content. You know, I think First Strike is the one that covers between Halo 1 and Halo 2. You know, I would like content, you know, even after the end of the game, you know, something in between. That's why I really wish that they had done more spin-offs and stuff, you know, like Halo 3 ODST. This is kind of off topic, but like they could have done so much more with that, you know. They could have like made advanced sneak mechanics and stuff, because all of that was a joke in that game. A great game, but like, you know, they could have modernized stuff like that. So there's a lot of potential here. But yeah, anyways, so I really hope that they go forth with the additional missions and stuff. I think that'll be a great addition to the game. But yeah, that's about it. So I'm excited, but I'm cautiously excited because, you know, we've had a bad history with that. So, but yeah, that's about it, guys. See ya.